everyone. Today we're going to be hunting Barioth, G-rank Barioth to be specific, and we're using the Strong Heart spread bow. It's got good fire element, spread 5, and an arc shot of wide. Wide arc shot isn't my favorite, but it will do here. As you can see, we're going to speed things up on the way to the hunting ground. Tundra isn't my least favorite place to hunt, but it's certainly better than the volcano. Got some paint coatings, gonna get him painted so we don't lose him. And unfortunately, I messed up on the wall a little bit, trying to lock on to him and turn him around and face him, and it just didn't go very well for me. And as usual, Barioth swoops down viciously. Doing a Superman dive whenever he turns to face you from the air is usually a good idea. Barioth is kind of interesting in that he has one of the few fights you can really influence a lot. By breaking the wing talons, you can make it so that he stumbles every time he jumps behind you, which makes dealing with his very fast attack much easier. Honestly, normally, he can jump behind you and launch another attack before you can react. So, it's very important to keep your eyes on him at all times. Once the wing talons are broken, it's a good idea to either go for the head or the tail, depending. If you're using a Blade Master weapon without much element or with a lot of raw, you can cut off the tail, which not only gives you the tail carve, but decreases the length of his tail attack. That can make him a lot easier to deal with if you have to get up and close. His tusks, on the other hand, break, obviously. It doesn't influence the fight at all, but he takes the most fire damage in the head. So if you're just interested in killing him, I would recommend just aiming for his head. If you're more comfortable with the fight, you can ignore the wing tails altogether, but honestly, I will take any advantage I can get. Not to mention the powers from breaking carnage. You can see that tornado coming. It does leave a pretty good opening for an attack as well. But if you get hit by it, the snowman effect is not fun to deal with. I usually don't bring cleansers, so I have to roll or pray that my chakalakas are paying attention. Speaking of which, I'd like to mention just how getting the auxiliary dance, you can get a lot of very useful effects out of them that way. In particular, I'm a big fan of the element attack up effect. It's one of the few ways to raise your elemental damage. As I've mentioned in some of my non-narrated bows, I feel that the Nargacuga Zine armor is a really great choice for bow users. If you don't want to mix armor sets, it just comes with a lot of skills that are naturally very important for bow users. Evasion, focus, stam recover up go very, very well with the bow. However, you can make a lot better sets by mixing, and I do enjoy mixing a lot. This was just sort of a set I stumbled on shortly before I quit playing 3U, and I haven't gotten around to making a new one yet. I'm looking forward to starting a new one to play with Sword and Shield from the very beginning. So it doesn't really make sense for me to make a new mix set now. So this fight is really just all about keeping your eye on him, predicting his attack, and just knowing what he's going to do before he does. And there we see another break. I took liberty to slow down the brakes a little bit so you can see them more clearly. This roar doesn't have a lot of range like some monsters. You can stand just on the outside of it with a ranged weapon and continue your attack. And there we see the tough go. Once all three parts are broken, you know you're getting to the end of it. I would say we're halfway through now. Maybe a bit more. I really can't stress how useful the Chocolocks are. A lot of people don't like them in solo play because they distract the monster and make them more unpredictable. But really, I think that the healing and the effects of the mask, along with the dance and stuff, make it more than worthwhile. Of course, if you're out for a challenge, it's an entirely different story. Barioth is actually one of my top 3 monsters in this game, along with Zinogre and Nargacuga. I'm just a big fan of the big cat. That design style just gets me every time. For some reason though, Tigrex doesn't do it for me. It could just be how frustrating he is to fight though. For me, Barioth was, and I'm sure for many others, my first wall. I had a lot of trouble the first time. My first playthrough of Monster Hunter, I tried to use the Greatsword exclusively, and it did not go well. I had done fine up to this point, but with Barioth's speed, I had no ability to get off charge attacks. It completely destroyed me every single time. So I switched to Sword and Shield with the Rathalos, the Jin, Fire Sword, and I completely destroyed him on my first try. It really highlighted for me what my skills as a hunter were, and that I needed that mobility to keep an edge in the fight. Since then I've used the Sword and Shield, the bow, and the dual blade pretty much exclusively. I've played around with other weapons, but those are definitely my best. Stop me for a minute to talk about the advantages of different kinds of bows. Red bow is really, really good in 3U because of the flat terrain. It makes it a lot easier to land all the hits. In 4U, it's not as useful because of the verticality of that game. But here, they really, really shine. Rapid bows, on the other hand, are still quite good in this game for monsters with a significant weak point. I really, really love using a good rapid thunder bow like the Wolf Lantern. Pierce bows, I'm not actually a fan of. I prefer to stick with elements. In other games, I like to play mages, and this is just a logical choice for me. Pierce bows are great long, and they do a lot of damage to very large monsters because they do more hits as they pass through the monster. But you're not really going to find any really great elemental pierce bows. As for my personal selection, I really like the Strong Heart Qurupeco, the Nahabra Thunder Bow, and the Amber Archelina Ice Bow. The Genmaran Dragon Bow is also pretty good in my opinion. And for water, I like to use the Yetis Bow. At one point, I did want to make an armor set for each element, but 4U came out, and that was quite a significant success. As you can see here, he's starting to drool. So things are going to get a lot easier. And now you can see he's limping, which means things aren't going to last much longer at all. I was really hoping to take him out before he made it to the exit, but that didn't quite pan out for me. It would have been nice to take him out of the sky. So now we speed things up once more and head to the final chamber, which is coincidentally also the room we started in. Where he always starts, where he always sleeps. Here I'm just killing time while I wait for him to fall asleep so I can get some free hits in. Could have captured, but I really enjoy the Barioth hunt, so I'm more inclined to finish it all the way through. And here I finally get around to using the arc shot. With his speed, it's just very difficult time normally. He's a bit groggy waking up, so I can get about 3 hits in before he starts on me. I was actually surprised how many hits he managed to take before he went down. And here we go. Alright, thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Please comment if you have any sort of suggestions or comments on what you saw here. Thanks for watching!